Nathan Pierce adjusted his worn baseball cap and checked his reflection in the truck window. The borrowed plumber's van sat in the parking lot of Rosie's Diner, a small family restaurant on the outskirts of town. His outfit consisted of a simple gray work shirt with a fake company logo, jeans with authentic paint stains he had carefully applied, and boots he had scuffed against concrete for an hour to make them look used. This was his seventh attempt at finding something real, something genuine, in a world where his bank account seemed to matter more than his heart. The diner smelled like coffee and home cooking. Red vinyl booths lined the windows, and a jukebox in the corner played old country songs. Nathan chose a booth near the back, somewhere quiet but visible from the entrance. His usual watch, worth more than most people's cars, sat locked in a safe at home. Instead, he wore a simple digital watch from a department store. Everything about him screamed ordinary, average, forgettable, exactly what he needed. Claire's arrival. The door swung open at 7:15, and Nathan looked up from his water glass. She was nothing like the others. No designer handbag, no carefully styled hair, no outfit chosen to impress. Claire Matthews hurried through the door wearing scrubs covered in cartoon puppies and kittens, her honey-colored hair escaping from a messy bun. She carried a backpack instead of a purse, and her sneakers squeaked slightly on the linoleum floor. Her eyes found him quickly. Jessica must have described him accurately. Claire rushed over, slightly breathless, and slid into the booth across from him. "I am so incredibly sorry," she said, her words tumbling out fast. "We had an emergency at the clinic. A dog came in after eating chocolate, and we had to induce vomiting and monitor him for hours. Then I had to pick up Lily from Mrs. Patterson's house, and she wanted to tell me about every single thing they did today, which is sweet but also really time-consuming when you're already late, and then traffic was completely stopped because of construction on Fifth Avenue." Nathan found himself smiling, genuinely smiling for the first time in weeks. "Breathe," he said gently. "It's completely fine. I'm just glad you made it." Claire took a deep breath and laughed, a real laugh that crinkled the corners of her eyes. "Jessica warned me I talk too much when I'm nervous. I'm Claire, obviously, since you probably figured that out from my rambling entrance." "Nate," Nathan said, using the nickname that felt safer than his real name. "And I like that you're honest. It's refreshing." Getting to know each other. A waitress appeared, an older woman with kind eyes and a name tag that read Betty. She poured coffee without asking, clearly familiar with Claire. "The usual stress level tonight, honey?" Betty asked Claire with motherly concern. "Off the charts," Claire admitted, "but getting better." Betty patted her shoulder and disappeared to help other customers. Nathan noticed how Claire wrapped both hands around the coffee mug, as if drawing warmth and comfort from it. Her hands showed signs of hard work, small scars and calluses that spoke of real labor. "So, Jessica said you're a plumber," Claire asked, taking a sip of her coffee. Nathan nodded, sticking to the story he had prepared. "Commercial and residential, mostly working on apartment buildings and office complexes. It's steady work, keeps me busy." "My dad was an electrician," Claire said. "I grew up understanding the value of trade work. People always need skilled hands to fix things." She paused, studying him. "Your hands look pretty good for someone who works with pipes all day." Nathan felt his heart skip. He had forgotten that detail. "I've been doing more supervisory work lately, managing teams, handling client meetings, less time actually turning wrenches." Claire nodded, seeming to accept this. "That makes sense, moving up in your career. What about you? Veterinary nurse? That must be challenging work." Claire's story. Claire's entire face changed when she talked about her work. Despite her obvious exhaustion, passion lit up her features. "I love it," she said simply. "Animals are honest. They don't lie about how they feel or what they need. If a dog is in pain, he shows you. If a cat is scared, she tells you. There's something pure about that." She pulled out her phone and showed him pictures of Lily, a bright-eyed 6-year-old with her mother's smile and wild curly hair. "This is my daughter, Lily. She's the reason I do everything. The reason I work 50-hour weeks and go to school part-time for my veterinary technician certification. I want to give her a better life than I had." Nathan looked at the photos, seeing a little girl laughing while holding a stuffed elephant, another of her covered in finger paint, one more of her asleep with a book on her chest. "She's beautiful. Looks like you." She has her father's stubbornness, Claire said with a slight edge to her voice, though that's about all she got from him. He left when I was 4 months pregnant, said he wasn't ready to be a father, like readiness was optional once the baby was already on the way. I need to be straight with you, Nate, Claire said, setting down her coffee and looking directly into his eyes. I don't have time or energy for games. I work at the animal clinic 40 to 50 hours a week. I take online classes 2 nights a week. I have a 6-year-old daughter who is my entire world. I'm barely keeping my head above water with bills and student loans and childcare costs. She took a breath and continued. If you're looking for someone carefree and available and easy, I'm not that person. I come with complications and responsibilities and a little girl who needs stability. Most guys run when they hear all that, so I'm telling you up front before either of us wastes more time. Nathan felt something shift in his chest, something he had not felt in years. Here was someone being completely, brutally honest. No performance, no trying to be what he thought he wanted, just raw truth. I appreciate that more than you know, he said quietly, and I'm not looking for easy or carefree. I've had plenty of that, and it turns out those relationships don't mean much. I want something real. Claire studied him for a long moment. Jessica said you've been on several dates recently.
Nathan stood in front of his closet at 6 in the morning, staring at rows of designer suits and Italian leather shoes. None of it would work. He moved to a smaller section in the back, where he kept his disguise wardrobe. Faded jeans, a plain green shirt, and a lightweight jacket that looked like it had seen better days. He examined himself in the mirror, making sure nothing screamed wealth or privilege. His phone buzzed. Owen calling. "You're really going through with this?" his best friend and business partner asked without greeting. "Good morning to you too," Nathan replied, slipping on worn sneakers. "I had the team work until midnight yesterday, removing your photos from the zoo pavilion. Do you know how many strings I had to pull? The director thinks we're doing maintenance. This is getting out of hand, Nathan." Nathan sighed, sitting on the edge of his bed. "I know. I just need a little more time. Once she knows me, really knows me, then I can tell her the truth." "Or you could tell her now and save yourself this elaborate charade," Owen suggested. "If she's as genuine as you say, maybe she'll understand. And maybe she'll transform into every other woman I've dated. I can't risk that. Not yet." Owen was quiet for a moment. "Just be careful. The longer you wait, the harder the truth will hit." Meeting at the zoo. Nathan arrived at the main entrance 15 minutes early. He had already confirmed with zoo security that his photos were temporarily removed and the pavilion signage covered for renovations. The head of security, who knew Nathan personally, thought the request was unusual but complied without questions. The morning sun warmed the crowded entrance area. Families with strollers, elderly couples, groups of teenagers all gathered, excited for the day. Nathan positioned himself away from the main information desk, where his donor plaque usually hung. A temporary banner about the endangered species exhibit covered the wall instead. "Nate!" He turned to see Lily running toward him, her curly hair bouncing in 2 ponytails tied with butterfly clips. She wore a bright yellow dress with pockets and light-up sneakers that flashed with each step. Claire followed behind, slightly out of breath, carrying a backpack that probably contained enough supplies for a week-long expedition. "Nate, you must be Lily," Nathan said, kneeling down to her eye level. "Your mom told me you love butterflies." Lily's eyes went wide. "I love all animals, but butterflies are the most special because they used to be caterpillars. They transform into something completely different. That's like magic." "That is pretty magical," Nathan agreed, charmed by her enthusiasm. Claire reached them, looking apologetic. "Sorry, she spotted you and took off like a rocket. Lily, what did we talk about?" "Don't run away from mommy in crowded places," Lily recited dutifully. "But I could see Nate, so I wasn't really lost." Nathan stood, meeting Claire's eyes. She looked different today, more relaxed. She wore jeans and a soft blue shirt, her hair loose around her shoulders. Without the exhaustion and stress from their first meeting, she was even more beautiful. "You look nice," he said. Claire blushed slightly. "So do you." Ready for a day of animal adventures? Exploring together. They started at the reptile house, where Lily pressed her nose against the glass to see a sleeping python. She asked endless questions, and Nathan found himself genuinely enjoying her curiosity. Claire watched them interact with a soft smile, occasionally answering questions Nathan could not. "Why do snakes shed their skin?" asked Lily. "Because they grow too big for their old skin," Claire explained. "It's like when you grow out of your clothes and need new ones." "But I don't leave my old clothes behind like a skin suit. That would be weird." "That would be very weird if humans did that," Nathan laughed. They moved through exhibits, stopping at the penguin habitat, where Lily insisted they watch the feeding time. She clapped and cheered as the penguins dove for fish. Nathan stood close to Claire, their shoulders almost touching, both watching Lily's joy more than the penguins. "She really likes you," Claire said quietly. "She's usually shy around new people." "She's amazing," Nathan replied honestly. "You're doing an incredible job with her." Claire's expression shifted to something vulnerable. "Some days I feel like I'm barely holding it together. Last week, Lily asked why we can't go on vacation like her friend Emma. I had to explain that Mommy's vacation days are for when she gets sick, not for fun trips. She accepted it, but I saw the disappointment." Nathan wanted to tell her right then that he could give them vacations, that money was not an obstacle, that he could solve so many of her problems. But he knew that was the exact wrong approach. Claire didn't want someone to rescue her. She wanted a partner. The close call. They reached the African savanna area, Nathan's favorite area of the zoo. Giraffes grazed peacefully behind a low fence, close enough for visitors to observe, but separated by a careful barrier. Lily was mesmerized. "They're so tall," she whispered in awe. "How do they drink water with those long necks?" "They spread their front legs really wide and bend down carefully. It looks pretty funny." A voice interrupted them. "Nathan? Nathan Pierce?" Nathan's blood turned cold. He turned slowly to see Robert Chen, a board member of the Zoo Foundation, walking toward them with his family. Robert's face showed confusion as he took in Nathan's casual clothes and the company he kept. "Robert," Nathan said quickly, his mind racing, "I didn't expect to see you here." "We bring the grandkids every month," Robert said, still looking puzzled. "I thought you were in meetings all weekend. The Singapore deal, remember?" Claire was watching this exchange with growing curiosity. Lily tugged on Nathan's jacket, oblivious to the tension. "Plans changed," Nathan said smoothly, taking a personal day.
2 weeks had passed since the zoo date, and Nathan felt like he was living two separate lives. During the day, he ran board meetings and negotiated million-dollar deals. At night, he became Nate the plumber, texting Claire about her day and video calling to say goodnight to Lily. The lies were eating at him, but every time he tried to find the courage to confess, he remembered how Claire looked at him with trust and affection, and the words died in his throat. Thursday evening, Claire called him with excitement in her voice. "The community fair is this Saturday at Riverside Park. They have rides, game booths, and Lily has been talking about it non-stop. Would you want to come with us?" Nathan checked his mental calendar. No major donors lived in that area, no business connections who might recognize him. It should be safe. "I'd love to. What time?" 2 o'clock? It runs until evening, and they're doing fireworks at sunset. Lily's never seen fireworks before, at least not that she's old enough to remember. "I'll be there," Nathan promised. Saturday arrived with perfect weather. Nathan dressed in his usual disguise, checking himself multiple times to ensure nothing looked expensive. He drove the borrowed truck to Riverside Park, parking among the other working-class vehicles. The fair sprawled across the green space, colorful tents and rides creating a cheerful carnival atmosphere. Children's laughter filled the air, mixing with music from various booths. He spotted Claire and Lily near the entrance. Lily wore a pink sundress and had her face painted like a butterfly, colorful wings spreading across her cheeks. She ran to Nathan when she saw him. "Look at my face! I'm a butterfly now," she announced proudly. "You're the most beautiful butterfly I've ever seen," Nathan said, lifting her up and spinning her around. Her giggles made his heart swell. Claire approached, wearing a simple yellow sundress that made her look like sunshine. "Hey, you made it." "Wouldn't miss it," Nathan said, settling Lily down and kissing Claire softly. They had shared many kisses over the past 2 weeks, each one making it harder for him to imagine his life without her. Games and laughter. They wandered through the fair, stopping at various game booths. Lily wanted to try everything. Nathan won her a stuffed elephant at the ring toss, and she clutched it like treasure. They rode the small roller coaster together, Lily squealing with delight between Nathan and Claire. They shared cotton candy, and Lily got it all over her face, making them laugh. At the duck pond game, where players picked rubber ducks to win prizes, Lily chose one with a star on the bottom, winning a small prize. "This is for you, Nate," she said, handing him a cheap plastic bracelet. "Because you're my friend." Nathan felt his eyes burn with unexpected emotion. He slipped the bracelet on his wrist, knowing it meant more to him than any expensive watch he owned. "I'll keep it forever." Claire watched this exchange with soft eyes. She took Nathan's hand as they walked, and he felt the weight of what he was building with them. This was not just a relationship anymore. This was a family forming, and he was part of it under completely false pretenses. They stopped at a booth where local businesses had set up displays. Nathan's attention caught on one booth in particular, his blood running cold. Pierce Technologies had sponsored a booth promoting STEM education for local schools. His company logo was prominently displayed, along with information about their community outreach programs. "Let's check out the petting zoo," Nathan said, quickly, steering them away. But Lily had already noticed. "Look, Mommy, baby goats." The petting zoo was next to the Pierce Technologies booth. Nathan had no choice but to follow as Lily dragged them over to see the animals. He kept his head down, hoping none of the company representatives would recognize him in casual clothes. The accident. Lily was petting a small goat when another child pushed past her roughly, trying to reach the animals. Lily stumbled backward, her hand scraping against the metal fence. She cried out, and Claire was beside her instantly. "Let me see, baby," Claire said gently, examining her hand. Blood welled from a deep scrape across her palm, and a small piece of metal from the fence was embedded in the skin. "It hurts, Mommy," Lily sobbed. Claire's nurse training kicked in immediately. "We need to get this cleaned and the metal removed. The first aid tent should have supplies." They hurried to the medical tent, where a volunteer nurse examined Lily's hand. "This needs more than we can do here. That metal piece is deep. You should take her to urgent care or the emergency room to have it properly removed and cleaned." Nathan's mind raced. "I'll drive you. My truck is close." "No, I'll take my car," Claire said, already gathering their things. "You don't need to cut your day short." "Claire, I'm coming with you," Nathan said firmly. "Lily needs us both right now." The nearest hospital was Mercy General, a place Nathan knew well. Too well. The Bennett Pierce Memorial Wing had opened there just 6 months ago, funded by a $30 million donation from his company. His photograph hung in the main lobby, along with a dedication plaque thanking his generosity. The hospital. Nathan followed Claire's car to the hospital, his mind working frantically. Maybe they would go straight to the emergency room. Maybe they would avoid the main lobby entirely. Maybe, somehow, he could get through this without his world collapsing. They parked and hurried inside, Lily still crying softly, holding her injured hand carefully. The emergency room entrance led directly through the main lobby, and there, impossible to miss, was a massive wall dedicated to hospital benefactors. Nathan's photograph, taken at a charity gala, stared out at them. He wore a tuxedo and his real watch, looking every inch the billionaire he was. The plaque beneath read, "With deepest gratitude to Nathan Pierce and Pierce Technologies for their transformative gift of $30 million to create the Bennett Pierce Memorial Wing." Nathan saw the exact moment Claire noticed it. Her steps slowed, her eyes moving from the photograph to the plaque to Nathan standing beside her, then back to the photograph. The resemblance was unmistakable. Same face, same eyes, just different clothes and context. "Mommy, my hand hurts," Lily whimpered, pulling Claire's attention back. "I know, baby. Let's get you checked in," Claire said, her voice strained.